Have you ever looked at an ancient monument and just thought, how? How did they build that? We like to think of ancient people as primitive, using simple tools and living simple lives. But across the globe, scattered through deserts, hidden in jungles, and even submerged beneath the waves, are structures so advanced they challenge everything we think we know about the past. Today, we peeling back the layers of history to explore architectural wonders that science still struggles to explain. Get ready, because these ancient mysteries are about to blow your mind. Let's start high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, at a place you've definitely heard of, Machu Picchu. This stunning city in the clouds was built by the Inca around the 5th–10th century. What's baffling is not just its remote location, but how it was built. The Inca had no mortar, no wheels, and no iron tools. Yet they cut and shaped massive granite stones with such incredible precision that they fit together like a puzzle. Even today, you can't slide a knife blade between them. This technique, called ashlar masonry, wasn't just for looks. It made the walls incredibly resistant to earthquakes, which are common in the region. During a tremor, the stones are said to dance, and then fall back into place. Storm-proof, earthquake-resistant, and perfectly integrated with the mountain landscape. This wasn't guesswork. It was pure engineering mastery that we still admire. It's a fascinating theory, but it doesn't explain everything, like how they raised the multi-ton red stone top knots onto their heads. The mystery of the Moai remains one of archaeology's most captivating puzzles. Back in Peru, not far from Cusco, lies another mind-bending site, Sacsayhuaman. This place is famous for its massive zigzagging defensive walls. We're not talking about simple brick walls. The stones here are colossal, with some weighing over 100 tons. To put that in perspective, a modern tower crane can lift about 20 tons. Like at Machu Picchu, there's no mortar. But what makes Sacsayhuaman even more incredible is that there are no straight lines. Each enormous block is uniquely shaped, with multiple angles, to lock perfectly with the stones around it. The result is a structure so strong and stable that it has withstood centuries of earthquakes, outperforming even modern concrete walls. How did the Inca quarry, transport, and fit these behemoths together with such flawless joinery? The scale of the work is simply staggering. Let's journey to the Middle East, to Baalbek in Lebanon. Here, we find one of the greatest construction mysteries on the planet. The Roman temple complex built here is impressive, but it's what lies beneath it that truly defies belief. The foundation contains a series of megalithic stones known as the trilithon. These are 3 of the largest single building blocks ever used in human history, each weighing over 800 tons. Think about that. 800 tons cut from a quarry a mile away, transported, and then lifted over 20 feet into the air to be placed with extreme precision. Even our most powerful modern mobile cranes would struggle with a lift like that. How could an ancient civilization over 2,000 years ago accomplish such a feat? We simply don't have a definitive answer. Now let's head to South America again, to the ancient city of Tiwanaku in Bolivia, near the shores of Lake Titicaca. Predating the Inca, Tiwanaku was the center of a powerful and sophisticated civilization. The stonework here is different but no less impressive. We see massive stone blocks of andesite and sandstone, cut with drilled holes, razor-sharp internal angles, and perfect symmetry that suggest advanced tools and techniques. The famous Gateway of the Sun is carved from a single 10-ton block of andesite. Some structures, like the Puma Punku complex nearby, feature intricate H-shaped blocks that look almost machine-made, fitting together with no mortar. What's eerie is that many stones appear unfinished, as if construction stopped suddenly. The site's alignment with astronomical events points to a deep knowledge of geometry and the cosmos, but the methods they used remain a profound secret. Many people associate great ancient architecture with Egypt, Rome, or Mesoamerica, but let's travel to southern Africa, to the ruins of Great Zimbabwe. This massive stone city, built between the 11th and 15th centuries, was the capital of a thriving kingdom. The most striking feature is its massive walls, built entirely without mortar. These dry stone walls are over 30 feet high and 15 feet thick in some places, and they have stood for centuries. The craftsmanship is incredible, proving that a highly advanced architectural tradition existed in Africa long before the arrival of colonial powers. Great Zimbabwe shatters the myth that complex societies and monumental construction were absent from this part of the world. It's a powerful testament to an indigenous African empire whose full history is still being uncovered. From great cities on the surface, we now go deep underground to Derinkuyu in Turkey. This isn't just a cave. It's a sprawling subterranean city that descends 18 levels beneath the earth, reaching a depth of over 280 feet. It's a complete, self-sufficient complex with living quarters, kitchens, stables, food storage areas, wine presses, churches, and even a school. A brilliant system of ventilation shafts provided fresh air to the deepest levels. This incredible underground refuge could shelter up to 20,000 people along with their livestock. It was clearly built for survival, with massive stone doors that could be rolled to block the passages from the inside. But what or who were they hiding from? Was it persecution, war, or something else entirely? Derinkuyu is a chilling reminder of humanity's will to survive against unknown threats. Let's return to Easter Island for a moment, to a place called Rano Raraku. This volcanic crater is the quarry, the very birthplace of the moai, and is perhaps even more mysterious than the finished statues themselves. Here, hundreds of moai remain frozen in time in every stage of completion. Some are still attached to the bedrock, half-carved. Others lie on their backs on the slopes, as if they were being prepared for transport when everyone just stopped. One of the biggest discoveries was that many statues buried up to their necks actually had full bodies underground, preserved from the elements. Why was this massive statue factory suddenly abandoned? Was it a civil war, an environmental collapse, or something else that brought this incredible cultural endeavor to a screeching halt? The silent figures of Rano Raraku hold the secret, but they aren't talking. From land, we now go beneath the sea, to the Bimini Islands in the Bahamas. In the 1960s, divers discovered a strange formation under the shallow ocean water. It consists of large, rectangular limestone blocks arranged in a straight line for half a mile, resembling a paved road or the top of a wall. It was quickly named the Bimini Road. The big question is it a natural geological formation, or is it man-made? Geologists point out that beach rock can fracture in naturally straight lines. But archaeologists and other proponents argue the stones show signs of shaping and placement, suggesting it could be the remains of a lost coastal civilization, perhaps swallowed by the rising seas at the end of the last ice age. Could this be a road to the mythical lost city of Atlantis? The debate is still very much open. Finally, let us visit a place that seems to come straight out of a fantasy novel, Non-Madol in Micronesia. This is a ruined city built on a series of small, artificial islands in a lagoon. What makes it so astounding is its construction. It's built from massive basalt columns, some weighing up to 50 tons, stacked like logs to create walls, tombs, and ceremonial centers. It's been called the Venice of the Pacific. But here's the mystery. There's no source of fresh water or food on these islets. The nearest quarry for these giant basalt logs is on the other side of the island. How did an ancient society transport millions of tons of rock across land and sea and then build an entire city on top of a coral reef? Local legends speak of magic and flying dragons. While we search for a scientific answer, the sheer ambition of Non-Madol remains breathtaking. Across continents and oceans, from the mountains of Peru to the reefs of Micronesia, ancient builders left behind a legacy written in stone. Structures that defy our modern understanding of their capabilities. We see different cultures separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, yet they all shared a common thread: incredible precision, monumental scale, and an enduring mystery. It makes you wonder. Maybe the history we were taught in school is missing a few chapters. Maybe ancient people weren't primitive at all. Perhaps they knew things that we have forgotten. The stones don't lie, and they tell a story of a past that is far more complex and amazing than we can imagine. A story that history may have forgotten more than it remembers. What do you think? Were these ancient builders simply masters of a forgotten craft, or was something else at play? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed this video, Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next exploration. See you next time. Even with our lasers, cranes, and supercomputers, modern engineers are scratching their heads, trying to figure out how some ancient structures were even built. We're talking about perfect stone joints, massive blocks moved across entire continents, and buildings aligned with the cosmos with impossible precision. So the real question is, what did ancient civilizations know that we don't? Today, we're digging into the ancient structures that are completely rewriting human history. Let's start with Stonehenge in England. This isn't just a random pile of rocks. Some of its stones traveled over 150 miles, long before wheels or advanced metal tools were common. And what's even more shocking, the entire monument is perfectly aligned with the sun during the winter solstice, not the summer one. This suggests it was a hub for ritual gatherings tied to survival, rebirth, and community unity during the harshest time of year. Recent discoveries show the stones came from different regions all across Britain, hinting that Stonehenge wasn't just a local monument, but a place that might have united entire cultures. Now, let's fly over to the Nazca lines in Peru. Carved into the desert floor are enormous designs, animals, symbols, and geometric lines stretching for miles. The crazy part? They were never meant to be seen from the ground. You can only truly appreciate their scale from the sky. And yet, they've survived for over 2,000 years. The latest evidence suggests people didn't just look at these lines. They walked them during sacred rituals. They turned the barren desert into a massive sacred landscape. A giant prayer mat connecting them to water, fertility, and the gods above. Next, we visit Çatalhöyük in modern-day Turkey, one of the world's first cities. Picture this, a city with no streets, no front doors. People entered their homes through ladders on the roof and traveled across the city by walking from rooftop to rooftop. The dead were buried right beneath the floors of their homes. Vibrant art covered the walls. And most intriguingly, archaeologists have found very little evidence of kings, rulers, or any significant wealth inequality. This was urban life 9,000 years ago, far earlier than we ever thought complex civilization began. It challenges the whole story of how cities came to be. Let's go underground to the Hypogeum of Cal Saflieni in Malta. Hidden deep beneath the earth is a massive multi-level temple carved directly out of solid rock. It was used for both burial and ritual for over 1,000 years. But here's where it gets mind-bending. One room, known as the Oracle Chamber, has unique acoustic properties. When someone speaks in a low voice inside it, the sound creates powerful vibrations that echo and ripple through the entire underground complex. It's believed the ancient builders intentionally designed this to alter human consciousness, to create a space where the veil between worlds felt thin. Now, journey to Ireland to see Newgrange. This massive circular mound is older than Stonehenge. It's even older than the Great Pyramids of Giza, and it holds an incredible secret. Once a year, and only once a year, on the winter solstice, a beam of sunlight travels down a long, narrow passage and perfectly illuminates the main chamber deep inside. This wasn't an accident. This was precision astronomy, carved in stone over 5,000 years ago, a testament to their profound understanding of the sun's journey. Perhaps the most game-changing discovery of all is Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. This site is so old, it completely flips our understanding of civilization on its head. It was built an astonishing 12,000 years ago, before agriculture, before pottery, before writing. It was built by hunter-gatherers. Massive, intricately carved stone pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons, depict animals and abstract symbols. This completely challenges the long-held idea that humans needed to invent farming before they could build complex monuments and create organized religion. Göbekli Tepe suggests that it was our belief systems, our desire to gather and create something sacred, that may have actually created civilization, not the other way around. Let's head to Bolivia, to a site called Puma Punku. The stones here are cut with such incredible precision that they look like they were made by a machine. We're talking about perfect right angles, smooth surfaces, and complex interlocking blocks that fit together like a giant puzzle with no mortar. The known tools from that time simply cannot explain this level of craftsmanship. Even today, with all our technology, engineers and stonemasons debate exactly how it was done. The precision is just that good. Now, imagine this. Over 3,000 massive standing stones, arranged in perfect lines that stretch for miles across the French countryside. This is the Karnak stones. The sheer scale of this site suggests a level of planning, geometry, and social coordination far beyond what we'd expect from simple tribal societies of the time. It would have taken generations to build, all following a single, unified plan. But why? We still have no idea why they were built or what purpose they served. It remains one of Europe's greatest ancient mysteries. What if an entire city was lost beneath the waves? Off the coast of Japan lies the Yonaguni Monument. Submerged under the ocean is a massive rock formation that looks astonishingly man-made. It has what appear to be carved steps, giant platforms, and sharp geometric edges. Some geologists argue it's a natural formation created by currents and tectonic activity. But others are convinced it's the remains of a lost coastal civilization, a city swallowed by rising seas at the end of the last ice age. The debate rages on, but if it is man-made, it would rewrite the timeline of civilization in Asia. Finally, we go to Germany, to the Göbekli Circle. This is one of the world's oldest known solar observatories, dating back 7,000 years. It consists of concentric ditches and wooden palisades, with gates precisely aligned to the sunrise and sunset on the winter and summer solstices. It proves that ancient Europeans were not just idly stargazing. They were tracking celestial movements with incredible accuracy, likely for agriculture and religious ceremonies. It's a wooden calendar, built on a monumental scale. These sites weren't built by primitive people. They were constructed by intelligent, sophisticated societies with a deep, profound knowledge of nature, acoustics, and the stars. The real history of humanity isn't a simple, straight line. It's layered, complex, and filled with forgotten knowledge. It's far more advanced than what many of us were taught in school, and the most exciting part? We've only just begun to uncover a fraction of it. There are still so many secrets buried, waiting to be found. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the past, make sure to like and subscribe for more adventures.